Hey guys, welcome back to another video. And today is a very exciting one because today we are gonna engrave steel. With my new Blue Diode laser with at least the 10-watt module, we have enough laser power and a very nicely focused laser dot that we can engrave steel directly. That doesn't matter which steel, stainless, carbon steel, powder metal steel, harder, softer, doesn't matter. Everything goes. Even brass I've tested before. This is very great and makes all of the hacks that I tried before obsolete, as long as you have a minimum of 10 watts of laser power, obviously. So without further ado, I think we should just get right in. So here we are in the engraver. To engrave steel or metals in general, you want at least a 10 watt blue diode laser. With the 5 watt, even at super slow speeds, I didn't have any luck. It's just not enough power. And then, if you want to engrave knives, you will need to position it somehow. And the easiest way, it looks a bit janky, but it is, as I found the easiest way, is to use like cut up pieces of foam. This is just a cleaning sponge I had. I'm cutting some shapes out of it because we will want to position the blade completely parallel to the laser. For this you will also need a small bubble lever. This is the best shape I found. And we take a measurement of our work surface here. Quickly lock in the focus. And you can see this measurement, and we can see here we are a bit off because this board isn't level, so we need to account for that. So now right here it also seems to be loud a bit. Push it a bit into the foam. Now we are pretty much done. What we will now need to do is also align the blade and then get the focus right. Now getting the focus right is a bit difficult because the issue you're gonna run into is that you're gonna push down on the blade and move it around, so you need to be pretty careful. So I'm basically holding it over the blade, tightening it, and then let it go and seeing, okay, it goes down a bit. Now I'm basically perfect. Just slightly touching the surface, and now my focus is well. As you can see, I did remove my air assist because otherwise it would bump into it, because I'm gonna start right here because the red laser is offset and it's gonna bump into this blade. This will vary from the type of knife you're gonna use, but if you're just engraving, on bare metal, you don't need an air assist anyway, in my experience. So here we are in the XCS software, and we're now gonna prepare our engraving. Here I have the logo I wanna put in, and then I'm gonna set the width to 5mm. That's a nice size for OpenLs. I found I'm gonna put it right between the collar and the logo that's stamped in from the factory. And now you will need to adjust speeds and feeds. For steel engraving, the most reliable values are for my 10 watt laser, 100% power obviously, and 3 millimeters per second of speed at 120 lines per centimeter. I've always, on every piece of steel, I got reliable results with this speed. You can go higher for some. I even went up to 5 millimeters per second on a stainless steel piece, and it did work, but then on other carbon steel knives it did not work. So I'm gonna go with the reliable option and this speed. And now we are pretty much done. Just align the laser and then engraving. And here you can see the result, a very clear, nice and sharp engraving. If I zoom on it further, you can see it gives you very nice contrast on this steel. And yeah, that's just it. It's super easy. Again, you need at least a 10 watt laser. I would imagine with a 20 watt module it would be even better because you can run faster speeds. It does take quite long. Now the blade does heat up, but only a little bit. It's warm right now, but it isn't necessarily really hot. Now with thinner brass pieces that I tested before, it does get quite a bit more warm because obviously the heat transfer is better there, but it's still not anywhere near where it's, you know, dangerous and it's gonna melt or anything, because yeah, when it's slightly, it hurts a bit when you touch it. Yeah, it's slightly uncomfortable. That means that it's just at 50 degrees, and yeah, that's nothing. For a piece of steel, you would need to heat this up way further to lose the temper, for example. Yeah, that would be the catastrophic failure. Now the setup does look a bit janky with all the sponges, but I built a few custom things to hold knives, but the shapes of these things are just too different to justify making a custom jig for it. If you do a lot of engraving of the same knives, you're engraving your own knives, for example. If I would engrave my own knives, I would obviously do it before I put the handle on, because that makes it just a lot easier. But if you're doing work for customers, then that's not an option. You're gonna get a lot of different knives and you will need a custom jig for anything. And so this one, albeit janky, is a pretty good solution. That was already it for this video. As you can see, aside for the janky setup of your knife, the positioning, it is pretty easy to do. You need slow settings. Obviously, you're not gonna, engrave a sign for a building. It's just taking too long. We have very, very slow laser speeds here, and so we are kind of limited to small engravings, but still, it's for knives, it is perfect. It's the perfect solution. Works on everything, even on coated steels. Now, if you have a black coating, it's sometimes harder to get contrast, because obviously if it burns through the coating, the engraving is dark, so you have a dark coating and a dark engraving on top of it, so you won't have nice contrast. That's something you're just gonna have to deal with. On some knives, I managed to burn away the coating and not touch the steel below, so in that case I had a nice contrast because it was white, but it depends on the coating of the knife, and there's no real way to control it, at least as far as I found. But still, on most knives it works perfectly. That was it for this video. I hope you liked it. I hope you learned something. If you did, then consider subscribing and giving the video a like, and then I will see you on the next one. Bye bye.